The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and thank you so very much for taking part in the 8-week free series, Successful Living Through Emotional Freedom. It has been an honor for me to present information to you that has been very life-changing and rewarding for me to do, and particularly a very liberating experience for me personally, that I've gone through these journeys and can now use the information and experiences to reach out to you, my audience, and give you this information. And of course, I'd love to hear from you if I can help you further to work with me or definitely put you in the right direction. Today's webinar and the last webinar, a bit of a cry there, is supplement and exercise mindfulness. I've been very aware of getting away from the cliche titles of how to supplement properly and how to exercise properly, because all supplementation has a purpose and benefit, but of course there is always a smarter and more efficient way to supplement and to exercise. And the world that we are in at the moment in the 21st century, it is a very catalytic movement in that we have evolved exponentially in ways that are very sophisticated in terms of nutrition, supplementation, and exercise efficiency. So let's go on with the webinar because there's a lot to cover today. Not too many slides, but definitely information for you to think about. Just to again mention, the information here is of educational and general advice nature. I am a behavior specialist and a lifestyle consultant. I do not just PT, I do not just provide lifestyle consulting, coaching and counseling services. I look at a person's life from A to Z and see where we need to influence change. And I love it because it means I give a damn, I care, and it's not just about the money, it's about really how can I help you the best possible way. And I believe today's society, this is critical. There are professionals out there for lots of different things, and some people are very specific. They massage, or they chiro, or they are a nutritionist or a personal trainer, and they're all fantastic things. My job and my passion is to take a look at someone's life and say, okay, what do you want? What do we need to change? And where do you want to go? And let me help you get there. It's not a guarantee in life, but it's definitely having someone work with you that's neutral and objective is paramount. And I'm going to say this again, that it's fantastic to rely on people, loved ones, friends and family for support. We need them, and we need to show them the same care and attention. But at the end of the day, getting someone that's neutral, that you put money into that investment for you, is going to serve you in the long run. I've tried this always, and I can tell you, when I pay someone, I pay attention. My business is creating extremely tough leaders. I was hoping to have my logo today to show you, but I've sent it back for another modification, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, have a look at my Facebook pages. It will have my new logo. The contact details 0404611634 and my email address. Thank you very much for the people who have emailed me. I do send out the webinar recording and other articles. I don't send them out immediately. I do wait a day or so, but today this one will go out within the same day. But I try not to overload you straight away because I know that we get emails all the time, and today alone I've had 50 emails and I don't even know how many messages. So I'm very aware of knowledge overload. Yes, the last webinar, it's really been an experience for me. I have grown in many, many ways in doing this for 8 weeks. It has been, I will be honest, very challenging for me. I am currently studying. I finished my last assessment on Sunday for this particular term, and it went to the College for marking. So it's been a very exhausting and challenging project that I set myself to do, but I did it, and I'm absolutely honored to be able to give you this information. Supplement and exercise. What I've decided to do with this particular webinar is to go through the exercise for body types. Now, it is perhaps, well, it is geared towards females, but in the body types there we can refer to them for some of them in a male capacity. Not all of them, but some of the body types men do fit in. However, talking about body types specifically and females, there are perhaps more body types for females than there are for men, of course. If they had an hourglass figure, we'd be a little bit concerned where they fit it in. But that's to say that there are more body types for females, and nutrition for body types, and supplementation, and why should you exercise at all. Cute little picture of the girls down the bottom there on the right, and they're smiling and they look happy. And you want to make exercise fun and an experience. I do know for many, many years when I had to teach endless classes and train like a demon that I did not enjoy what I was doing, and it was very hard work when I was training for specific events. Particularly one that I went to Thailand. I started training specifically for that for about 6 weeks prior to that event. Now you might say, well, why would you need to do that? You're already fit. I'm definitely in the 5 to 10% category back then, but I needed to be specific in my training, nutrition, and recovery for that event. You see, I don't want to come back injured. I don't want to come back sick, and I don't want to come back like I feel like I've been dragged through the mud by commando. I want to come back and say, I did it, I enjoyed the journey, what's next, and look at that experience with fond memories. And I can tell you, by doing that, I came first twice up the Big Buddha Mountain, the first female running it up, and the first female with a partner dragging a block of cement. So, and I was well over the years of some of my colleagues and those that were being in the same group. There were about 50 people doing that event that day, and out of 50, I was the first female up Big Buddha running it. And I can tell you that I did not look in front. There were parts of that hill I couldn't even run it. It's just impossible to run it. I was crawling up that hill in 30-odd degree heat and God knows how much percent of humidity. But I did it because I'd set my mind in training for it at least 6 weeks ahead. See, it's not just the physical demands, it's the mental demands on my body. So I think one of the things that I see a lot as a personal trainer, and perhaps it is an issue that I'm concerned about, and those that know me personally know that I do not advocate excessive, repetitious, mindless, boring exercises. Now, I'm not criticizing crunches per se. They do have a purpose in boxing, in martial arts, in CrossFit, and in other types of movements. But there are other efficient exercises. I don't want to focus on the crunches. I just put that picture there because the point I want to make with that particular slide is that it's not about doing endless repetitions. When I gave birth to my daughter, the next day, if not, it was that day, I was on the floor under my hospital bed doing crunches. And they put out a call for me across the speakers, Miss Esteban, please come to your bed or wherever, we cannot find you. I was doing crunches. Not the smartest thing to do, but obsession with doing crunches. And this endless repetition that I see out there, I see it in gyms, I see it in boot camps, I see it in outdoor training, where trainers and clients do the same, week after week after week. In my life, there is not one week that I have the exact same workout. I refuse to. I refuse to train like that. I refuse to eat like that. And I refuse to live like that. Boredom is not going to, repetitious training regimes will not get you the results. For lots of different reasons, particularly that your body is trained at a cellular level to climatize to whatever you do. It's like we go on a diet, and women go on a diet, and I hear this with lots of famous diets out there, and I won't mention names, but I hear it. Well, I lost a lot of weight on blah blah diet, but I'm not losing any weight now. Well, of course you won't, because you've done nothing to change it. So why would you expect something different? It is the statement made by Einstein. that if it's short of craziness and insanity to be doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It is impossible unless you change something. So if you are doing the same exercise, if you are eating the same and you've got the same lifestyle habits, let me be quite frank with you, you won't get the results. And if you do, they will be short-lived, and at some point your body will acclimatize. And whether you agree or disagree is completely irrelevant to me. It is a scientific fact. You will not be the only person in the world that is exclusive to this. That is the way we are built. So at a DNA cellular level, your body will climatize. It's like when you get in the car and you go the same way to work. After a while, it's autopilot. You don't even need to think too much about it. Your body is exactly the same. So I encourage you to really think about what you're doing in your life if you want a different result. All right, please let me take a drink of my tea here so I can stay hydrated. Body types. Here they are, 6 common body types. Now, there are subtypes within this, but what we're looking at is the common body types. The A-frame, the V-frame, the ruler, the A-frame or hourglass, and the diamond and the apple or oval frame. So I'm going to keep this slide on there for quite a while. Let's go through the A-frame, okay? So kind of also known as the spoon shape. They carry a little extra weight in the bottom from the waist down, a little bit wide around the waist and the buttocks. So they tend to be a little bit more heavy down the bottom. Now, hey, that's what you are. If that's what you are, then you've got to work with what you've got and train and eat to that specific body shape. Can you change your your skeletal frame? Well, unless you go under the operation and you cut some bone. What you've got to work at is how you can mold your body to have a balanced symmetry. Now, if you're carrying extra weight in terms of fat, that's a different thing. But on skeletal level, you have what you have. Now, I'm in menopause, and I can tell you that my body has physically changed as a result of the menopause. What I have to be aware of is how I need now to train and eat that's going to match what I need to do to stay fit, healthy, and in shape. So something that A-frames need to consider is balancing the symmetry. So you can see there that the shoulders on the A-frame is smaller than the hips and the thigh area. So walking, running, boxing, they're things you want to be looking at doing. Resistance training, keep it light on the legs, go heavier on the upper body. The stepper seems to be this common obsession in the gyms with females. Get off it. Get off the stepper. Get off the high incline treadmills. That is not your best friend because that's going to build up muscle. But definitely go lighter on the resistance and go faster on the speed. So you want to avoid things that are going to build your legs up. You want to build your upper body up. So some of the things that you might want to work on as well with foods, you want to stick to low glycemic index foods. And we're talking under 50 in the glycemic level. Vegetables, low GI fruits, berries, cherries, apples, really good sources of omega-3, salmon, sardines. You want to have good oils like flaxseed's a fantastic oil. I buy an organic flaxseed oil, which reminds me I need to get some more. And I think a litre, the last time I looked for this price, is between $10 and $20. Very expensive, but I only need like a tablespoon or two to get my outcome for whatever I'm cooking. I don't need a lot of it because it's very rich and it spreads quite well. So you want nuts, you want olive oil. You want to avoid sort of sweet fruits or high GI fruits like grapes and pineapple. You definitely want to stay with the carrots, the beets, like beetroots and things like that. Get away from the carbonated drinks. Of course, that goes without saying. You want to avoid foods that are pretty rich and pretty high and over that 50 scale of GI. Now, this is not to say that you can't have any of those other things, but you may need to just shift your food if you're looking to set a goal to lose some weight. Okay, so do a Google search. I'm giving you some information. This is not enough for you to form a diet or an exercise plan. but you need to do your own work. And let me put it out there, you need to get some help on it, okay? Because I mean, I've got a marketing assistant, I've had coaches and all different therapists, and I still see different professionals for my personal needs, and I need them. I don't want to be sitting at Google for 24 hours a day researching this, but I definitely need their professional expertise. Okay, so really you want good lean proteins like, skinless chicken, turkey, veal and tuna. What else? You could have, turkey breast. So really lean meats. You want to stay away from those fatty types of T-bony, sort of rumpish kind of steaks. But if you're going to have them, trim the fat, obviously. Okay, so that's the A body frame. Next is the V frame. Wider shoulders, narrower hips, narrower hips and waist and thighs. We're not talking about the height of a person here. We're talking about the body shape per se. Okay, so the V frame, also referred to as the cone shape. Okay, shoulders are about 2-3 inches wider than the waist and than the hips. So they again need to balance the symmetry, but the other way around. Okay, they need to balance the weights to increase them for the legs and decrease them for the upper body. So the stepper is a good form of option. The incline treadmill is a good form of option because you want to build thickness, you want to build mass to the legs. So that's an option for you. A frame, no. B frame, yes. So, but again, it's not what you want to stay on. You want to be able to vary what you're doing. So resistance training needs to focus on heavier, less repetitions, heavier weight. You want power movements so you can bulk up your legs. Things like squats, leg presses, deadlifts, uh, exercises that are going to shape the legs and give it some symmetry, because they tend to be V frames a little bit lanky, sort of generally a little bit less on the shape on the legs. So you want to keep the repetitions between 6 to 12 for the legs, and on the upper body you want the repetitions to be between 10 and 25, and you do want to have lighter weights for the upper body. Now here it's a little bit different. You want foods that are going to promote more mass. So definitely you want the proteins, you want the heavier types of foods, you want the potatoes, you do want vegetables. You don't want a lot of fruits, but you definitely want more protein-based types of meals. Even legumes are high in proteins. Chickpeas, red kidney beans, lentils, lima beans, green, the orange beans. My daughter makes this fantastic bean dish. It's an Indian dish, and the beans are orange. Can't remember what they're called right now, but you go in the supermarket and look at the legumes. They're higher GI, and you don't need a lot of them to get your protein sources. Groovy. So that's the A frame and the V frame. Now, the ruler frame. A lot of people get this confused with the H frame. There is a H frame and there is a ruler. The H tend to be a little bit more narrower, so they're a little bit more on the slimmer side, but they're really a H frame anyway. There's just one's wider than the other. But for the purposes of keeping this not too technical, it's already technical, we'll call them the ruler. So the ruler frames are sort of balanced from shoulders to waist to hips. They don't have a lot of waist. Now I'm a ruler shape. I don't have a significant waist. I don't have wide shoulders, wide hips. They tend to be quite symmetrical. That's my body shape. Someone would say, well, I wish I had that. And then others wish they had an hourglass frame. Honey, you've got what you've got. I wish I had a nicer waist, and I wish I had, bigger chest. I've got what I've got. In terms of athletically looking, I'm quite athletic looking of a physique, and I've been that way all of my life, and there have been times when I have a little bit more waist, cool, but I'm predominantly a H, and that's what I've got. So high metabolism the rulers tend to have. They can gain weight very easily, um, and cardio should be kept to a minimum. Now, I remember when I was doing a lot of cardio, it was very difficult to keep my weight on. I would lose it because we tend to have a high metabolism, and sprints and long enduro events they come easily up to a ruler body frame. So now where I'm in my stage of my life, I don't want to go into high cardio or long cardio because it falls off of my body very easily. And you might say, well, that's a fantastic thing. No, it's not. It has its problems because it can weaken my immune system. It can be very hard to keep muscle on. It can make me susceptible to colds and flus, and it can also make me susceptible to chronic fatigue. So heads up, folks. One type is not better than the other. It is what I've got. So resistance training for rulers is pretty cool. You want to keep them short and intense. You want to go through every major muscle area once a week, and you want to build on symmetry. You want balanced amount of work. You don't want to go too heavy on the legs and not enough on the arms, or vice versa. You definitely want to include some back, some shoulders, and good leg exercises and even upper body exercises like bench press, shoulder presses, lateral pulls downs, squats, and lunges. You want to keep the range of repetitions between 6, 8, and to 10, no more, to keep that consistency. Now, when I train my body, I go to no more 6 to 10 repetitions, whether it's legs or arms, standard across the board for my training, okay? But I will vary what I do, when I do, and how I do it. So the ruler body frame, they're kind of in a way a little bit lucky in the sense that they can eat a variety of things. I don't have a lot of high GI foods. When I have a lot of high GI foods, it's predominantly when I need the glycogen, when I need to sort of pump up that glycogen to be able to give me energy. But generally speaking, I keep it around that sort of 35 to 65, 70. Look, yesterday I bought bread. No. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday I bought bread, and I had half a bread roll. When I came home, I had a little bit of bread with my dinner. I didn't need it really, but I knew I hadn't had a lot of glycogen, and I had an awesome piece of, I think it was seafood. Yep, I had salmon with some veggies, and no, I lied. It was a piece of meat with veggies and some pretty groovy sauce with it, so I had a little bit of bread to finish it off. But in terms of how much bread there was, probably, if you look at a Baker's Delight roll, maybe half of that. And I think I had half during the day. It's not a lot of glycogen. I just make a very conscious effort that when I do eat glycogen or carbohydrates, that I keep it to really good quality carbohydrates. Even fruit, ruler body frames, careful, careful, careful. If you love, love, love fruit, keep it to a minimum. 1, 2, 3 maximum a day. Grapes I love, but they're high in sugar. Keep them to a minimum. Bananas, cool, but your apples, your oranges, your berries, fantastic, fantastic stuff. My breakfast yesterday morning was a bowl of yogurt with a cup of mixed berries. Very low in glycogen, lots of calcium, dairy that I need for my bones, because we're very athletic, so we tend to respond very quickly to power movements. I don't incline my treadmill much at all. And I don't use the stepper because I have tree trunks on my upper legs. They respond very easily to power movements in my legs, so I don't use the stepper. I find it totally boring as it is anyway now, years and years of using it. So I just stick to treadmill or bike. And bike, I keep it on low resistance. Treadmill, a little bit higher resistance, maybe 1.5. But definitely when I run, I try and run barefoot on the beach to build up the cardio and build up the bone strength. So we've gone through A-frame, we've gone through V-frame, and we've gone through the body frame. Cool. Let's go through the next one. Right, the hourglass, Marilyn Monroe. Classical hourglass. Sexy body type for the 50s and 60s. If you had an hourglass at that era, honey, you need to be, careful. Lock yourself up because you would have a thrall of men behind you. It was the favorite body shape. Busty, narrow hips, busty legs, and hey, if that's what you've got to enhance that. So generally, I guess people call them genetically gifted. It depends on your specific hourglass type, whether you're, quite a tall or quite a broad sort of person, and they tend to have sort of a size 8 to 10 waist or even smaller, but of course the legs are a little bit different. Generally, the symmetry of the shoulders across and the hips tend to be similar with that, nice, very, very tight, tiny little waist. So cardio should be balanced for this type of body shape. Any cardio technique is fine. Just be careful, again, going too high on the incline or the resistance on steppers and bikes and treadmills. So for bodybuilding, fantastic body shape, because you can really do anything with this as well. But again, you want to change your program every week. You definitely want to keep the repetitions down to 6 to 12. You want to be able to vary your types of exercises. Power exercises are fantastic because it is an endurance movement, and they burn up the glycogen, and of course glycogen is carbohydrate, so they can deplete your immediate reserves, and then they can work into your fat systems for your when you need further energy. So being careful here to not overload on glycogen, like your breads and your pastas and your rices. Being careful to watch your fruits. Vary the diet, because you guys need a little bit, more variety in that. Watch the fruits, their sugars, and sugars just, if you're overloading on fruits, 4, 5, 6 pieces of fruit a day, as great, as healthy as it is, if you're not moving, it is going to put on weight for you eventually. So we've covered the A frame, the V frame, the ruler, and the hourglass. All right, the diamond. Well, you can see what the diamond looks like. It's sort of wide around the waist, very narrow shoulders, and very narrow hips. Probably a very challenging body type to work with, because they tend to carry more weight around the midsection, the waist, and the stomach. Very important here that, again, you don't go into the hundreds of endless crunches and planks and so forth. You definitely want to have cardio that's going to encourage you to work a little bit higher intensity but short durations. So you're actually having to force breath. So let's say, for example, sprints. Something that I do in my workouts when I want to build my endurance is to say sprint 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a run, or whenever or however, and I want to be able to get exhausted to the point I have to force breath down through my diaphragm into my stomach. So you want to be careful here that you're not doing a lot of abdominal work. You want to definitely go heavier weights on the upper body and the lower body. You definitely want to build up the resistance along the legs, and of course the arms. You want lower repetitions on the waist and stomach area, and high repetitions on the waist and stomach area, and low repetitions on shoulders and hips. Avoid the, things like, well, even reverse crunches. They're a little bit challenging. I probably would recommend you go with planks, or you go with things that you can, like lat pull downs, where you're forced to use your abdominals, or back exercise where you're used to use your abdominals. Obviously, pastas, rice, and carbohydrate type foods, they're going to really chunk up that girth area. So minimize them, stick to your proteins, your lower GI types of foods, your lean meats and your seafoods, and your lean vegetables, potatoes. Keep them to a minimum. Go for the pumpkins and the carrots and things like that. We have sweet potato a lot more than potatoes. We might have potatoes once a week, maybe twice a week. So that is the diamond frame. And the apple or the oval frame, now a much more sort of wider type of body shape, tend to have carry a lot more weight around the bust, waist, hips, and not so much the thighs. But I've seen oval frames that have also very, they're very big on the hip and the thigh area. Cardio, folks, you want to stick to cardio. Light resistance training, definitely more cardio. Go for endurance. So you want to alternate your endurance and your short power training. You don't want to go heavy on the weights. You want to go light, 10 to 25 repetitions. It's obvious by the look of that picture that you want to stay away from eating high carbohydrates. You want to keep those carbohydrates down. Go for quality carbohydrates and stick to your vegetables, good fruits and good sources of meats and dairy. You've got to pay attention because generally they can put on weight very easily if they're not active. You need to be doing cardio at least 3 times a week, and you want to make sure that you deplete those glycogen stores and then re-supplement with protein. Right, I think that kind of covers the female body types. So I hope that I've given you some information there that you can take away with and think about, and go and look at yourself in the mirror standing there. You really need to be naked doing that. I'm sorry, because you really want to see where you fit. Take this picture and look at yourself in the mirror and see where you fit. Body type, exercise and nutrition, we have covered that. What is your favorite exercise? Kind of cute Sudoku, which for me, I don't do Sudoku. My daughter, mother half, loves Sudoku. Couldn't get my head into it. Just not me. And you can see them running on the treadmill, having a little, girly time. That's really cool. So if you train with someone at the gym, that makes it all the more fun. If you don't, hey, it's okay. You've got to do what you've got to do when you're in the gym or outdoors to keep your enthusiasm up. Now, I hope this is readable or you can see it. It's a fantastic table that I've had for a long time. Excuse me for a moment. As I said, there are 6 predominant body types for females, but within those body types there are what we call ectomorphs, mesomorphs and endomorphs. I'm not going to go through this information. You need to look at it. It's on the webinar. When you get the recording, you can pause it and have a look at that in more detail yourself. What I want to say here and now is that you may fit in to a body type, whether it's A, whether it's cone, whether it's hourglass, whether it's oval. But within that, you may have your sort of sub-body type. And the reason I say that, there's this unbelievable just myth out there that you are one body type and that's it. Absolutely not. I am a H, but I also fit into, I have strong legs. I am not a black and white 100% H or ruler. Because I have strong legs and quite bulky legs and they respond to weight training, it means that for my legs, I have to choose exercises where I get enough burn and enough load. Reason I say that is that I fit into a H mesomorph. However, I do have small shoulders, which is endomorph and ectomorph. So I'm not a classical mesomorph. I don't have long arms like an ectomorph, but I do have a very fast metabolism. My body fat is evenly distributed like a mesomorph, and I can lose weight, and I do have attacks of tiredness and fatigue, which an endomorph have. So please take this information, look at your body type, go, okay, that's what I've got, and then work within that. Don't stick to one or the other, black and white. You're going to do your head in, you're not going to get your results, you're going to get confused, and you want to give up. I want you to be very general about this information in terms of, okay, I've got this body shape. If I eat this, that, or the other, it's not going to serve me well. I can still have it, but be mindful of it. So an ectomorph is lightly muscled. I'm a mesomorph in terms that I have natural muscle, and when I do train quite heavy on my upper body, within 2 days, you can see the change in my body. So I'm naturally a very strong female. But I do have, I would say, medium-sized bones and joints. And I gain muscle very easily like an endomorph. Can you see what I'm saying? I'm not black and white, but I fit in within a body type. So I do what I need to do with each body shape, body type, body area the best that I can. Is it challenging? Is it demanding? Is it sometimes a bit exhausting to think about it? You bet you. But of course, 28 years in this industry, I know what I'm doing. So if you don't know what you're doing, you need to make the investment in yourself to find out and work with someone. I'm not confused. I'm just well mixed. So don't get overwhelmed. Don't get confused. This is information for you to take it, go home, have a look at your body type, see where you fit in, and then work with what you've got. Important that you mix up your training. Now, Fitball is fantastic. I do. Yesterday I did crunches with a Fitball with a 15 pound a 15 kilo dumbbell, shoulder raises, abdominal crunches, that beautiful back bend to stretch. Mix it up. The more variety that you can give your exercise program, the high chances of you not only losing weight if that's your goal, but keeping the weight off and staying fit and healthy. Okay, I'm not on a weight loss program. I'm on a definition program. I don't, and that's fine. But there were times when I got so bulky, I did need to lose weight because I got too bulky. And you might say, well, that's not bad. Well, I've got my challenges and you've got your challenges. Don't be saying, I wish I had your body. I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. I've had this said to me and I just cringe because I just think, I've got my own challenges. I've suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome. It debilitated me for years and it cost me an arm and a leg to get better. So, you may not have trained like I have, but I can tell you it cost me and it debilitated me extensively to where I couldn't even get my leg over the bed. So don't be saying, I wish I had someone else's body because you don't even know what they go through. So when you see people, have their own, that they look fantastic, like the celebrities, they get up early and they train hard and they do what they have to do to get where they are. So don't be saying, I wish I had. I even had one person say to me, which I couldn't believe. They said to me, I said, oh, I've got menopause. I've my body fat's changed and I'm feeling a little bit chunky. And they said to me, well, hey, good. Why should you have a body, that you had 20 years ago? And, that's just saying that you really don't like what you've got, or you're just feeling a little bit shitty about stuff, or you're not being really nice about it. We're going to be mindful that everybody faces challenges in life, and, it's hard staying on top of the game. So, we've got to be mindful of that. And, I train with people and I've worked with some famous people over my life. I've been very fortunate. And I never think for 1 minute I wish I had their body because I got what I got. I don't like all the parts to it, but you've got what you've got and you've just got to work with that and work with people. Don't just Google and research everything. It's got to be a time when you place investment into yourself. Okay, let's go into supplementation. Right, vitamin A, K, minerals, C, D, folic acid, B. Oh, seriously, folks, I can tell you I've probably had more than $3,500 worth of vitamins in my cupboard at some given point in my time. This for that for this, and this for that. And if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing, and you're going ad hoc about it. You need to get really simple with supplementation, find what works for you, and then review it at some given point in time to see if it's still working for you. Supplementation, it's not a be-all and end-all, and it's not a one-size-fits-all, and it's not if you take a vitamin B today that's going to serve you for the rest of your life. And, what kind of vitamin B do you take? What kind of vitamin C? How many times do you take it? Do you take it before training? Do you take it after training? Do you take it because you're deficient? Do you take it because you've burned glycogen? So there's just too much rubbish out there, and too many people buying crap on the shelves because they see it at some chemist warehouse or some chemist or some supermarket. You really need to see where you are in health and lifestyle to see what your needs are. And for example, vitamin C. I would take vitamin C after weight training because it breaks down vitamin C, and it's a soluble vitamin and it passes through my body through urine. It does to you as well. So I need to replace it even after cardio training, the cardio training that was used to. It breaks down my vitamin C, which makes me more susceptible to flus, colds, and fatigue. So I need to double supplement. When I went to Thailand for my training event, I took vitamin C every single day religiously, not only before I got to Thailand, but when I was there, because it broke down my vitamin C faster. So it's just not that simple. But what I'm saying is, I'm kind of contradicting myself, you might think. It's not that simple, but you can make it simple, okay? And that's what I want to talk about. I take isogenics. Now I'm going to pump isogenics. Can like it, not like it. You can think whatever you want to think, but you need to supplement. Isogenics is a supplementation brand. They focus on weight loss, energy performance, healthy aging, and program support. I work with some amazing people. Yana Pitt is my upline manager. She's just one of the most amazing women I've ever met, and I've had her personally in my home, and some of you have actually been to my home with her here. One of the loveliest people I've ever met, and one of the nicest athletes that I've had the fortune to meet, and sharing her story and listening to what she's been through, I have the highest admiration and respect for this woman. She's just amazing. It's a no BS woman, let me tell you. Okay, this is a sample of some of the Isogenics brand products that they have. I won't go through them more specifically, but the natural etc. is a detoxifier. Isoflush helps me sleep like a baby. The Isoline shakes there's a shake of 18 grams of protein, 24 grams of protein, and I even took the 36 gram of protein when I was bulking up, because I needed that higher source of protein because I was lifting some pretty serious weight. The Ionics, which is an antioxidant, the snacks there, and the Cleanse for Life to clean out your gut and digestive system. Really awesome stuff. I've had this comment said to me, well, they're very expensive. Listen, honey, if you're spending money left, right, and center on crap and doing stuff that's not going to serve your body, and you're wasting money on, foods, alcohol, going out, whatever, you need to decide where are your priorities. And if your health is not a priority, then it doesn't matter what you're paying, because you're going to consider it expensive. Now, I would rather spend money on my body and making sure that I age well and I don't get sick than really thinking about other things that are out there in the social norm lifestyle. That's my value system. I aim to be doing my thing when I'm 70 and 80. I don't want to be carried in a stretcher. I don't want to be looked after. I don't want pumping medications into my body. If I can't avoid it, I can't avoid it. But until I get to that crossroad, I will invest in my body. Right now, I'm having an Isogenics tea. When I get off this webinar, I will be having my antioxidant, which I should have taken it this morning, the Ionics, and I will be looking after my body. And it's important. So it's only as expensive as you're prepared to invest in yourself. And this stuff stretches. I don't spend any money on any other vitamins or minerals, or I don't need it, because I've got everything I need right there. I have other specific supplements that I may take from time to time when I'm specifically training. Um, and I'm going back into my training, so I want to pump it up, and I want to make sure I don't get sick. I don't take shakes every day. I don't pump, other stuff into my body that I don't need. But honestly, I've saved hundreds and hundreds of dollars by taking these products. And as I said, I've had about $3,500 of supplements in my cupboard, and I can tell you how to break down glutamine, how to use creatine, how to take branched-chain amino acids, how alanine works. I can tell you how to take creatine so you last 2 hours in a training session. I can take you, explain to you how, steroids. There used to be synthetic steroids in Musashi products, 20 years ago. Um, what else did I have? Well, I can't think right now, but you obviously can tell I know my stuff. So that is very important, that you supplement. And if you think you don't, then you're delusional. Isogenics, the energy shot is made with green tea, lowering caffeine. I can't say I really like the taste, but you take one of those and you can pretty much well run for an hour. So they're very efficient. A friend of mine that was at the gym one day, he didn't look very well. I had an energy shot in my bag. I gave it to him. By the way, none of these products you can buy online in shelves in stores and supermarkets. They never want to release these products on the shelves, and they never will. And I'm really glad they don't, because there's a lot involved in taking this. It's not like buying some protein powder because it comes from America because someone told you it was really good. These products come with training, information, and education, and that's why you work with a coach, and that's why you do pay that little bit more, so that you don't go off on your merry way. And I've had people say it doesn't work. That's a lot of rubbish. It works if you do it properly. Okay, so the e-shots are an energy booster. My daughter takes them and swears by it. So, okay, this particular Isogenics product is the Isogenis telomere. Now, I take it. I take it specifically because it is almost like a hormone replacement. It's unbelievable. When I was officially diagnosed with menopause, it was so bad that the doctor actually suggested I go on HRT. I looked at him as if to say he's off the planet. First of all, the expense is ridiculous. The side effects are horrendous, and I'm not ending up with ovarian cancer because some doctors haven't worked out how to address that. It cost me a lot of time, energy, and money. I connected with someone with Isogenics. I bit the bullet and buy this product, and I swear by it. I didn't buy it specifically for hormone replacement. It's not a hormone replacement, but what it does is to help balance out my hormones. It's just got an amazing amount of stuff in it. It aids with it to help DNA regeneration. I'm going to explain this a little bit because I think guys need to understand how we work a little bit at a cellular level. Okay, this picture here is what's called a telomere. Everyone has telomeres in their body. It is what we are. It's a DNA. Now, what it does is to basically reproduce. So it affects aging, it affects immunity, it affects how you function. It's your blueprint. It's how you're made up. Now, without a good level of telomere in your body, you get sick. Period. You get sick. It's telomere, or healthy telomeres are necessary for cell regeneration. And obviously, cell regeneration, it means we need to grow our hair, skin, blood, bone, and other cells for functional, just to survive, to live. A lot of people, when they go through traumas, nervous breakdowns, medical conditions, health conditions, physical conditions, they're functioning very unhealthy. The telomeres don't reproduce it the same way when you're functioning healthy, so a person can stay quite debilitated for years and years and years, and not even realizing it because their body's not functioning healthy. So these things are quite serious. Now that is a telomere, perhaps a little bit more clearer. Um, it's really about us aging better. We can't stop the aging, but when we smoke, drink, eat crap, don't sleep well, don't look after our body, high levels of stress, high levels of toxicity, poisonous relationships, etc., 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 then we really are forcing our body to just go, you know what, if you're just going to treat it like that, then I have to fight this all the time, and at some point you're not going to age well. You just can't. It's just the way you're built. So we need to make sure that the food we take, the way we live, and the way we train is conducive to our best benefit. Okay, and that's what a telomere looks like. So if you go back to this picture here, you can see it on the bottom there on that bottle. They're not too bad to take. I just don't like taking tablets, period. It's just me. I don't like taking really anything. But I know now that the food we take is not the same quality that it was 20 years ago. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents grew all their vegetables. Tomatoes were sweet, strawberries were sweet, bananas had flavor. Now, bananas can make you sick. They can give you gas. They can give you incontinence. They can give you all sorts of things. Apples go brown within a minute of cutting them. Oranges taste like nothing. Tomatoes, you've got to just chunk salt on them. So, a bunch of spinach that years ago would have taste when you steamed it, now has absolutely no flavor. So manufacturers and producers, they need to sort of get this stuff out there in bulk because they want to make money, and they charge us, 99 cents for a bunch of spinach. Well, obviously, it's going to tell you something that if it's 99 cents a bunch of spinach, you damn well know that they mass produced it, and yes, you may get spinach. One particular picture that I saw a while ago, to get the same level of iron from a bunch of spinach, you need more than 20 bunches to get the same quality of iron than a bunch of spinach 20 years ago. And, if you really want to know, it's definitely out there. You can look it up yourself on Google. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the quality of our food is deteriorating. And people say, well, buy organic. I've got an issue with this because where was the food grown? How was it shipped? How was it stored? Was it completely chemical free? How is it packaged? Where is it stored? And how is it sold? And unless you're growing it into your backyard, it's not pure organic. Is it a better choice? Definitely, but don't be fooled that when it says 100% organic, you really want to know where that food came from and how it was there. So I've bought tomatoes that I've paid $8 or $9 a kilo, and they went bad just as quick as non-organic tomatoes. So that says to me that I did not buy 100% pure organic. So if you choose organic, fantastic. We need to support organic and we need to buy organic where we can, but it is not the be-all and end-all. 1980, this is what we looked like. 2010, this is what they look like. Really disgraceful. We've got to be very cognizant of the fact that we've got to keep moving, okay? We've got to keep moving. I walked to the shops this morning and people looked at me like I was nuts. Well, aren't you going to take the car? No, I can walk. I don't need to carry loads and loads of shopping back, but I can walk for additional incidental exercise, okay? Why exercise at all? Well, you need to exercise because your body needs to reproduce the telomeres that help reduce the side effects of our damaging environment, and you can age better. So you do need to exercise. Oh, where are we? There we go. Benefits of exercise. Okay, I'm going to go through this very, very quickly. It reduces body fat. It increases your lifespan, oxygenates the body, strengthens the muscle, reduces chronic pain, reduces the risk of diabetes, and clears arteries. It boosts your mood, maintains mobility, it improves coordination, and improves complexion and detoxifies the body. Even elderly people in nursing homes, they try to make them have exercise because it cognitively keeps them alert and it physically keeps them alert and moving and mobile, and it reduces the chances of injuries. So it's super important. It decreases stress, it boosts the immune system, lowers blood pressure, reduces the risk of cancer. It strengthens the heart to pump the blood so the heart works more efficient. It reduces the sugar cravings and you feel good. Thank you so much for your time on these webinars. I'm very, very honored to have presented this information. I have tried to give you everything possible. I've left nothing out. And if you watch other webinars, you know they're full of advertising, marketing, and just downright bullshit. My webinars have been all about giving you everything that I've got. So I can't give you specific advice, but I've given you stuff that's chunky and meaty. I'm not about sales and gimmicks. Should you hire me? Damn straight you should. Is it something that we may be a match, may not be a match? Can only tell when we have a conversation. But as you can tell in what I've presented to you in my 8 weeks of webinars, I really am straight down the line straight. And this world needs real, authentic, congruent people. So I want to thank you for being part of my free 8-week webinar. You really have to stop mucking around with the whole, well, I'm not ready for it, I'll be ready in 6 months to 8 months, whatever. And if that's where you are, really cool, take that time if you're not ready. And if you need more time, you need more time. That's really cool. Because if you're not ready, then you're not ready to work with me. But if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you want to change your life, do something about it. Don't give me bullshit excuses that you can't afford it or you can't do it. My job is to help you work out how to do it. Your job is to show up. My job is to help you find a way to get there. You need to show up. Contact me. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. And of course, free discussion to have a chat with me anytime. The part 3 and part 4 of rejection articles will be, one's going out on Monday, but I've actually attached it to this webinar, so I'm hoping that works. But the part 3 and part 4 will be going out. Part 3 will go out on Monday evening at 8 p.m. and part 4 the following Monday. As I said, I stream it out. I don't send it out overnight, so if you're expecting it the next day, period, it ain't going to happen. You will get the webinar as soon as I possibly can upload it, but all articles, I stream them out because I want you to read them. I don't want you to just get them and do nothing with them. Resources and tips, I've already told you you're getting the information, but I want to hear from you because I would really love a strategy session with you to help you to see where you are, okay? It takes time, energy, and money, and a discussion on that. I want to help you be awesome. I want to help you be amazing. I want to help you kick ass, and I want to help you be everything that you can be. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've enjoyed this very, very much. Thank you for your patience with all the technical glitches. I just want to say how much I really love doing this, and I'm so honored, and I really want to hear from you. I'm going to be connecting with each one of you individually over the next couple of weeks, but I want to hear from you, and I want to check in that, hey, this has served you, and I would love to hear from you. So thank you so very much. I wish you an amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much.